Welcome back, folks, to Step Into the Ring, brought to you by Angels Boxing Academy. I'm here with my co-host, Mies.
That's right, folks. And we have a very special guest today with us from the Center for Immigrant Progress, Karina. Take it away, Karina.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for having me. My name is Karina from the Center for Immigrant Progress. I am the Communications and Programs Manager. So I handle a lot of our social media, event planning, program planning, all that kind of good stuff. And the reason why I'm here today is to talk to you guys about a new program that we are working on in collaboration with Angels Boxing Academy and Illinois Workers in Action. So this program is called Rise and Lead. So this program is geared towards providing leadership and mentorship skills to the youth, so ages 18 through 30. And a lot of the focus is going to be on nonprofits, learning how nonprofits work and learning how we can change some things in the nonprofit sector.
That's right.
I know a lot of us here have other experiences working with nonprofits, and sometimes that leads us to start our own or work with other nonprofits that are, I guess you could say, like challenging the norms of like traditional nonprofit work. I know that's what the Center for Immigrant Progress is trying to do. You guys had one of the founders on the podcast, Sandra.
That's
We had
right.
Sandra here.
Yeah, I love her. And
We love her too. Friend of the show.
yeah, shout out to Sandy.
She has to come on and show us her poetry. Yeah, she still hasn't showed us her poetry.
And work out, man. I need y'all to pull up and, show us some bag work.
Okay, we'll see about that. Yeah, so I joined the Center for Immigrant Progress last summer in July. And the reason why I was so attracted to CIP, Center for Immigrant Progress, is, again, how different it was than a traditional nonprofit. Again, I have experience working with different nonprofits here in Lake County, and I have some thoughts about them, but
Don't we all?
I really loved the approach that the Center for Immigrant Progress is taking in terms of like centering youth. In my experience, and I know some of you guys can probably relate, when you're young in this field, in this sector, a lot of the times people don't take you seriously, or they don't platform you. They don't help you to find your voice or necessarily mentor you or guide you. That's something you kind of have to do on your own. And I really liked how CIP really centered youth, and how they just highlight the importance of youth and the ideas that we bring and the changes that we want to make in the field, and given whatever your organization focuses on. For you guys, it's like youth. For us, it's immigrants in the community. And so we felt like there was a gap. So there are organizations that work with the immigrant community. They do a lot of service-based, right, type of things. And CIP is very different in the sense we focus a lot on information sharing, first of all. In the past couple of years, we've really amped up our social media presence. So again, like on Facebook, on Instagram, we started doing TikToks.
What a plug. What a beautiful... no wonder you're the communications. You're just dropping that just casually. So make sure you follow good content. I know that, again, we always got to make sure we platform each other.
Yeah, so TikTok, and we have our own podcast as well, where we highlight immigrant stories as well. We have different campaigns where we talk about the struggles our communities face, and again, highlighting leaders in our community. We have a campaign coming up talking about that. So that's what I think makes CIP very different from other immigrant serving nonprofits. And we also really strive to, and we're working on helping to build community, right? I think that especially for us who are a part of the immigrant community, especially with how things are going right now with like this administration and like the ICE raids and all this stuff, it's scary stuff. A lot of people in the community are scared. And we want to make sure, we bring people information, factual information, And two, that we create spaces. We create
Mhm.
spaces for people to gather, to share, to connect with one another, because we're stronger in community. I know for
Mhm.
me, the first term of the Trump administration, I was in high school. And this was before I had found like community, before I got involved in my community. And it felt so lonely and so scary. And again, I was in high school, I was like 17.
Yeah.
So that's what
And
made you get into all this one nonprofit work and helping immigrants from back then
yeah,
in high school.
yeah, definitely. Like I said, I was very lonely, and I went to primarily white high school. And
You don't gotta whisper. It's okay. We I went to the suburbs too.
yeah,
It'd be
so
like that.
I went to a primarily white high school, and my experience there was not a pleasant one. And yeah, it was really hard. And when I went to college, I went to CLC. I really felt like I found like my people, my community. I got to learn more about what people are doing in the community to support and to help. And I think that inspired me. Like,
Mm.
I want to give back to my community. I want to be a leader, right? And
Mhm.
help support the people around me. And that's kind of what got me into this field. Yeah.
I love it because I mean it's in the name. For those that don't know, COC stands for the Community College of Lake County, and folks often call it the College of Last Chance, and individuals think that's a negative connotation, but I think it is a beautiful one because it was the last chance for me to get a college education. That's where we met,
Hmm.
at Latino Alliance, Señor Rodolfo helping us out, Salvador as well, creating that community that we're looking for and needed. And I mean, I experienced the same thing, waking up and finding out that, Trump won. I was all by myself the first term. Um, Couple years back later, I was actually at the mosque praying when I got the news for the second term. And, I wasn't alone anymore. I found my people. We were praying together, hugging together, and building together. So, community, wherever you find it, needs you. I mean, we're here for a reason, right? Um, so, thank you for that. I know that you bring in a lot of information for our community, but also a lot of skills, especially for coping mechanisms. Now, we have boxing and chess. You have beautiful breathing exercises that, I mean, Eddie, I found out I was breathing wrong this whole time. I don't know about you, but TikTok's been showing us we doing everything wrong. So, Karina, can you help us with that? Because, I mean, we need to relax a little bit.
Yeah. So in our community events, we really like to include like coping skills and different skills to help us relax. Again, there's a lot of stress and a lot of fear, and a lot of times we aren't taught how to manage our stress or how to cope with things, right? And that's kind of a little bit of my background. I'm also a social worker, and so yeah, one of the things we do is like the breathing exercises. Some people don't know that they're breathing wrong. Even I didn't know until a couple years ago when I started getting into meditation. So deep breathing helps us connect with our nervous system and helps calm our nervous system. And I think even before you were saying like athletes do it too. Like when you move, you have to coordinate with your breathing to help you perform better.
You're supposed to breathe through your nose. They always tell you that at any sport, breathe through your nose, breathe through your nose. But then also I learned too that in sparring, the best way for you to just be calm and being present in the moment is you got to control your breathing because you could be hyperventilating, but no, the best thing you could do is be calm, control your breathing, and that just everything just comes to you, you know. So in any sport, control. They always tell you just breathe through your nose, breathe through your nose, and yeah, that's the most important thing. Is to just stay calm. While you're performing.
Control what you can control. That's all you can do. I can't control what happens outside in the world. I can't control what other people do, but I can control what I do. I can control what I eat, what I breathe. And, I think that's something that is empowering and relaxing. I know I was almost falling asleep when you were doing it. So, I mean, I don't want you guys to fall asleep, but I want you to practice with us if you would be so kind.
Yeah. So when you breathe in, you want to breathe in through your nose, right? And as you inhale, you want your diaphragm to expand so the air is filling your lungs, so your belly rises. So you breathe in for a few seconds. And then when you exhale, you want to exhale either through your nose or through your mouth, but slowly. And as you exhale, you want to feel your belly sinking in as the air is coming out. And so you want to practice that a few times. Breathe in, hold it, and then exhale slowly.
I feel calmer already. And,
I'm about
that's
to take a
something.
nap. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Hey, later. But a lot of things are out of our control. And I think the Center for Immigrant Progress and Angels Boxing Academy is trying to bring some, at least, control into this hectic life. I hope to see some of you viewers join us for the leadership component, the training, because we are our community. Folks always say, help thy neighbor, but if you don't know your neighbor because you don't serve your neighbor, how can you love thy neighbor? So, I mean, I love you all for what you do. I know it's hard work. I know we get a lot of hatred on social media, but you just report and delete. That's what you can control. And I mean, what other coping mechanisms do you guys have for our viewers that might not be, so comfortable going out and about? Because again, folks are getting snatched up by our government. And again, one of our brothers was snatched up for his freedom of speech from New York City, and they took him all the way to Louisiana. Um, that could happen to all of us if, again, we don't have the community. So what can we do to not only help each other but ourselves?
Yeah, I think that's where like community plays a big part into it, is giving yourself the space to be around the people that you love and with your friends and other people in the community. And we have to allow space to grieve as well. I think that, again, a lot of stuff is happening. People are, unfortunately, like you said, getting snatched up, and it's scary and it's sad. And sometimes we want to be like, go, go, go. We need to organize. We need to advocate. And yes, we do need to do those things, but we also need to allow ourselves to feel. And that can be very uncomfortable. I think, especially in our culture, right? In Latino
Wait,
culture.
what? What you mean?
That's one thing that
We're the
I've
most
learned.
emotional. What are you talking about? But we don't want to show emotion. Make that make sense, folks.
And that's actually one of the things that I've learned a lot too, is to learn how to grieve. Just not I was just someone dying or something, but grieving something, grieving just like I don't know anything that could come up. Like maybe you've lost friends, or maybe you've lost family members, maybe you lost, or maybe you like really loved the year. Maybe 2024 was an amazing year for you. You can still grieve stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So we have to allow ourselves to feel sad about it and cry and process that. Because if we don't, and this is what I tell my clients in therapy, because I'm also an intern therapist.
You're taking all the jobs, Karina. This is the problem. You're taking all the jobs. What's going on?
Yeah, but I always tell my clients, you have to let yourself feel
Mm.
whatever it is you're feeling. If not, it's going to get bottled up. And it's like shaking a Coke can. You're going to shake it, and then when you open it, it explodes. And that's what happens with people, is they explode. They have like a mental breakdown and all that stuff because they never allowed themselves the space to
To feel.
feel and express. Yeah.
I just explode on a punching bag. I just let it all out.
That's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way. And, you and me both. Sometimes, I get bad news and I come here. I have my safe place. I have my place in where, I could sweat. I could get tired. I could also get angry. But I have an outlet. And, I, after working out, go to the mosque and I pray. It's only not even 8 minutes away, but that's a space for me. It works for me. Something else might work for you. Breathing exercises, yoga, walking in the forest preserves. Again, we have a lot here in Lake County, and a lot of our nonprofits do a lot of that good work. I think that's something that, you know, is beautiful. I go to different nonprofits, like their restaurants. They literally have so many things to offer for you, whether it's legal advice, whether it's housing, connecting with nature. So whatever you want, whatever you, again, nonprofits, it's everything. They can be as big as multi-million dollar operations, as small as those that just feed their neighbors. Again, I think that's something that's beautiful. I think that we are blessed here in Lake County, and we can get involved. I know growing up, I was a busboy landscaper, and I love those skills. I still use them, but I could do way more within my ability to speak English and Spanish, my ability to use technology, even being able to drive, being able to stand brings forward something that individuals need. So I tell folks, hey, get exposed. We have internship opportunities opening up, paid internship. And that's important because we have to leverage our skills and, I mean, help our community. We live here, folks. Have some honor, have some respect, integrity. Because, I mean, you are my neighbor. And I mean, I live here. Why not make it nice?
Yeah, and I think that's the whole point also of the leadership program that I mentioned earlier. So, this idea was brought to us by the executive director of Illinois Workers in Action, Giselle
Friend of
Rodriguez.
the show, friend of the show.
Yeah. She's awesome too. She's done a lot of amazing work in the community. And she brought this to both of us, to Angels Boxing and to Center for Immigrant Progress. Like, hey, I have this idea. I want to create this leadership program in collaboration with you guys where we can help mentor and create a space for people to learn about nonprofits and how they work. But not only that, like I mentioned, is how do we start to change things in the nonprofit sector that might be a little problematic or that might not be fully serving the community, right? And so
Mhm.
we want to help guide and lead these young leaders, right? But it's also going to be a learning experience for all of us, I think, as well, because we're always learning,
Sure.
right? We don't know everything. And I think that's the beauty of it, too, is to create the space for, I like to call it like co learning. So
Hmm.
I learn from you, you learn from me, and it's like this exchange. And that's kind of what we want it to be. Is not just like, oh, us, we're coming in as the experts and we know everything, but it's like, here's what we know now. Why don't you share what you know, right? And let's build with that. And so we're gonna have a cohort. We're going to meet virtually and have different discussions and learn together. And then we are also going to have a conference where we're going to reach out to community leaders to come and talk to our cohort about, their journeys and bring their wisdom and share their wisdom. And so I'm really excited about it.
Oh, I can't wait. And, in high school, they used to call me Mr. Network just because I would yap to everybody. And, it has helped. Folks tell me, why you know so many people? It's because, I used to work at this restaurant. I used to go to that school. I moved
Professional
around.
yapper.
I'm a certified yapper, bro. So, alhamdulillah, we have these amazing individuals that want to do the work and that are showing up. Again, your effort is what matters at the end of the day. The results are going to be the results. But if you put your best foot forward and you show up, I mean, something's going to happen. Folks will often ask me, are you a boxer or are you a coach? I say, I'm neither. I do the outreach. I want to make sure that you know what we're doing here.
Can't take all the jobs, Beans.
Hey, we taking it. We're taking them. We're making them and taking them. But that's what we're here. Angels Boxing Academy, it started in 2018. Something that many nonprofits started even before the pandemic or even after. So again, we want to foster that seed, that plant, and just water it. Make sure that the soil is good. Make sure that the sun is hitting it, and just talk to it nice. Because again, even our plants, I talk to my plants, man. You should too. If you don't, that's a form of therapy for me too. I'm like, hey, ¿cómo están? Ah, pues, Bismillah, acá tu agüita.
Maybe a little avocado tree or something. Like a
Avocado
guacamole.
tree. I don't know, but I mean, the
Not a
prices of
tree, but
avocado trees are going crazy, Eddie. I don't know how much you getting paid. We're gonna have to talk about that.
we're about to start our own farm. We have ABA farm.
Hey, come on now.
A
So,
community garden?
hey, we're already
Hey.
working on something on the side, but hey, that's for the deep cuts, folks. So, I mean, Karina, thank you so much. Any last words of advice, encouragement, or anything?
I would say just get out there and connect with people, right? Network with people. Find out what's going on in your community. Find out who's doing the work in your community. Ask, hey, can I volunteer? Find a way to get involved. I think that for me has been the biggest thing that has helped me is learning how to get involved and how I can support. And then that can be very therapeutic as well, giving back.
I know that just showing up, you see the problems. You don't have to be an expert to see that folks are hurting. And I mean, you can help, whether it's a hot meal or just a conversation, or sometimes you don't even have to say anything. So thank you so much, Karina. Where can folks find you?
So you can find the Center for Immigrant Progress on Facebook, on Instagram, our TikTok, and YouTube, all at the Center for Immigrant Progress.
And a pod, I heard. Where is this streaming?
Yes, we have a podcast called Through Immigrant Eyes, where we help to amplify immigrant stories and also highlight the issues that the immigrant community is facing. So you can find that on our YouTube, the Center for Immigrant Progress, and on Spotify through Immigrant Eyes.
You heard it here, folks. Here at Angels Boxing Academy, step into the ring. Thank you so much for stepping into the ring and for putting up a fight. Thank you so much, Karina.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, of course. Take it easy, folks.